Welcome to bottling day. So this has been sitting there nicely, looks very good, and time for bottling. So our steps today are going to be to obviously put the Silversmith session ale in the bottles, add some carbonation tablets to the bottles, and then it says leave the bottles for 2 weeks to a month at 21 to 22 degrees. Perfect. Then transfer them to a cold area around 10 degrees centigrade, ready for drinking. It sounds even better. I also have a new toy, which is a bottle capper, which I'll introduce you in a second. First of all, I'm just going to add these to the bottles. This is my new toy, a bottle capper, which we'll be trying out shortly. And I got some fancy bottle tops as well to go with them. Now, the most complicated step is always trying to get this to fit on here. So bear with me. Hey, success. Here is where you need 2 pairs of hands. We're off to the races. My first attempt at bottle capping. Nice. That one went okay. I'll have to check that one. Last one is easiest of all. Now, the advantage, of course, of measuring this into the jug when I racked it last time was I was able to calculate exactly, wow, exactly the right number of bottles and size bottles for what I had. And I do like these bottle caps. We now have to wait for a couple of weeks while that carbonates. I am so looking forward to this one. I can't help but be a little surprised, but I am. The sediment that's in there, despite racking it a couple of times, you know. I'm hoping this makes a big difference though in the final result. My tiny amount of flat beer taste test. Ooh. I think I'm going to like this with a bit of carbonation. Oh, fingers crossed. And it's time for the labels. Nice. It's time to put the Silversmith's Session Ale into the cellar. Welcome to my cellar. Let's be honest, these are nice and chilled. These are coming next. Vapor. Smells good.
supposed to look that colour.
It's a session ale. See the bubbles? Oh yeah, that one worked. Oh, I was hoping for a bit more fizz.
Come on, just usually stay from hours. When I mentioned Rob's YouTube channel, he's just smashing the heap of what he had. You know what I think? I think this is
Who else is having some?
I'll have some.
Are you doing a video?
However, I missed the target ABV by miles. So this is about 6.5%.
Oh my God, I got an offside tomorrow. I mean,
Hang on, Tim. 6.5%. That's quite a weak one then.
That's like Tim on a Monday afternoon.
Christ.
We get you in and eat. It was like,
So taste test.
To be fair, I am fine.
I'm not very good with the taste. I like it. I would drink it.
This one is. Don't
I would buy a couple. I think I would probably stop at.
He nailed
I
it.
don't think I'd go more than 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But for like an initial beer, it's very enjoyable.
I'm down to my last few bottles of the session ale. Let's give the session ale a final evaluation. So, the style was a session ale, which means the ABV came out too high. So, I failed on that front. I missed the ABV sort of target that was around sort of 3.5%. During the pour, I got a nice head, but there was low head retention afterwards, and there was a very low carb. Now, interesting, this bottle, it was a very low carb, but in other bottles, I've seen better carbonation that's added a lot to the head and also added a little bit more bounce to the flavour. The colour was around 67 on the EBC scale, which is a dark amber. It was quite clear. There was just a touch of haze to it, but actually sort of pretty clear as a brew. The carbonation in this bottle was a little low, but in other bottles was a little higher. It definitely sort of improves with a little bit more carbonation. So again, carbonating each bottle individually sometimes leads to a bit of variation from bottle to bottle. The aroma, lovely. So you've got a very sort of deep malt, a very sweet actually sort of aroma to it. And actually, if you sort of just spend a little bit more time, you can start to pick up some of that caramel smell. So yes, you know, the aroma actually is very nice indeed. Interestingly, there are no citrus sort of aromas at all. No hoppy aromas to it at all. So, but you can certainly smell the sweetness of the malt. So flavour. Well, it's been going down very well indeed. It's a very light and pleasant ale. It does have a little bit of a sort of spiky sort of taste to it, a little bit of a peppery taste, and certainly the sort of aftertaste does linger, and that aftertaste is sharp rather than sour. It has a slightly astringent aftertaste that gives it that puckering sort of feel to it, but it's not a bitter taste. Overall, thank you AleSmithing Brewery for this pack. It's a good 7 out of 10, and that's more about my brewing skills than the quality of the equipment and the grains. I would certainly do it again. Remarkably good since I did it with tap water. And this was before I started to understand about pH and water chemistry. So I think I would love to do it again with a bit better knowledge of the water. Thank you for listening.